It's not a very British thing to say, I know, but I'm not a great one for spectator sport. Or come to that, for sport. But here in Thailand, there's a gamesmanship you just wouldn't believe, and I'm in there shouting with the rest of them. Siamese spectator sport is something else. In Thai boxing, anything goes, though purists think it's bad form to spit, bite or butt. Such genteel reservations apart, you just go ahead and smash him any old way. No woman's ever allowed to step into the ring because her aura might weaken the boxers. Well, you know how it is. During 5 3-minute rounds, boxers kick high towards the neck for an instant knockout. Kicks on arms and legs are just meant to weaken, to sap strength. They also hurt. But it used to be really tough. In the days before boxers put the boot in, they stuck broken glass on their hand bindings, if agreeable to both. Thailand's military rulers have just decreed that bowling, of all things, is not a sport but a form of gambling, while this is a sport, officially. These chaps enjoy a more peaceful day out with a couple of birds. Not all the coups in Thailand involve tanks. Some concern cages. A dove cooing contest, competitors turned on by a referee bird with handler. Then they coo away competitively before 2 pairs of judges, a starter to time the 10-minute bout, and to deliver the coup de grace, an umpire. Or seconds out. Raising birds for such contests is like running a racing stable. Bred with agonizing care, they appear before hundreds of spectators at big cooing contests. A dove who's no bird brain and knows how to handle his voice, who can hit the right notes in competition, can be worth £1,000. Champions produce a prolonged, complicated routine, while judges listen for the way the coup comes, its quality and sound pattern. General, what is the sequence of sounds that a champion bird like this one would make? General Wang has kept doves for 50 years. As chairman of the board of the Dove Division of the Pets Association of Thailand, he really knows his coups. And you'll notice a bird in the background echoes his master's voice right on coup.
ให้ท่านต่อไปมีเจ้าฮกโกโกฮกโกโกโกเจ้าฮกโกโกโกโกโกโกฮกโกโกฮกโก หมดเวลา
What are the sequences of the right kind of coup?
Before she will begin the song, she must have a beginning word. The beginner will sing Chuhuku. The following words, it will become Chuhuku. You will hear that it's a different sound from Chuhuku and then come Chuhuku. Juhuku is 1 mark. Juhuku, nothing. Beginning, nothing. And then Juhuku, cuckoo. That is the song of a bird. We have too many kinds of first class or second class or third class song. Not the first class, is the lowest class. She will sing Juhuku, Juhuku, and then Juhuku, stop, no more. Or she will sing Juhuku, Kuku, Juhuku, no more. And that's only 2 points. And then it will come up to the Juhuku, Juhuku, Kuku, Juhuku, Kuku, Juhuku, Kuku. The other class. But I will show the best class. She will sing Juhuku, 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 Kuku, Juhuku, Juhuku, Kuku, Kuku, Juhuku, 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 Kuku, Juhuku, Juhuku, Kuku, Kuku, Juhuku. This is beautiful.
That's as good a coo as you can ever get.
It's the best one.
The winner. Now he's right at the top and can coo what comes naturally. These are fighting fish. Each bout, a fight to the death. If such furious fish were as big as they're brave, it'd be a staggering spectacle. Fortunately, they're only a couple of inches long. Only males fight, as is right and proper, chewing off pieces of each other, leaving the water full of little bitten-off chips of fish. Fighting fish, purple, green or red, from the ponds and marshes of Thailand, carefully bred for battle. No fighting's allowed within Bangkok's city limits, but each Sunday in arenas outside, fish fight enthusiasts gather to back their favourites. They'll struggle, mouths locked together, for hours, until one submits and dies. Before each bout, to spur new contestants into fury, they're allowed to trade fishy stares through a glass darkly. Thais are not particularly fond of animals, but indulge their champions because gamesmanship's an excuse for betting, and Thais will gamble on anything. A bloody business outlawed in Britain more than a century ago is permitted here, on Sundays only, in this guarded arena. After the January harvest time, cockpits are always crowded. Unlike Filipinos and Mexicans, they rarely use the ugly steel spurs attached to claws to make things bloodier. Yet this could still be his last fight. A champion's worth several £100, so Thais say an owner takes more care of his bird than his child. The odds change as the fight progresses and bets are clinched. And should you feel like a snack while watching your chosen sport, you'll find that Thais go some way beyond meat pies, popcorn and hot dogs. There's some suggestions for snacks in holiday time in Thailand. They say try skewered frogs or dried and salted squid. How about a chicken's head fried in a blackened pot of boiling oil? If you can resist their menu so far, they've kept the most succulent delicacy to last. 20 cents buys a paper cone of roasted baby sparrows. Squash their heads on the roof of your mouth as you would a grape. Yuck. Thai fencing developed in the days when the kings of Siam fought hand-to-hand astride the necks of elephants. Arms vary from swords to daggers and shields, but whatever the weapons, the going styles, hammer and tongs. It takes at least 18 months in a fencing club to learn a game where the preliminaries can seem more complicated than the fight. More graceful, certainly. Siamese sword fighters sometimes take on women. So, while not as phony as our all-in wrestling, there is a tendency to decide the winner of the duet before actually coming to blows. Siamese twinge, delivered, of course, by a swordswoman. Before joss sticks and candles, the next pair ask for the protection of Buddha, which may not be such a bad idea. The usual ritual prayer before having a bash. All that's missing in a Thai fencing club, face masks and a certain delicate rapier-like finesse. There's bullfighting here, but no matadors with swords and suits of lights, no padded picadors. The bulls are lightly sprinkled with holy water and gently ushered into the arena. Owners may file horns to points, may pound humps with mallets to strengthen the muscles, may even sprinkle their animals with tiger scent to scare the opposition, but then they sensibly jump out of the bull ring and leave it to the heavyweights. Bullfighting in Thailand means just that. Sometimes, of course, bulls take an instant liking to each other and agree not to fight, while some just fight and run away. But whatever happens, the loser usually lives to pull a plough another day. A rosy picture any Spanish bull would envy. Another Siamese spectator sport known as the Whicker ball game. This, I was surprised to discover, is one of the most prominent of Asian games and soon to be internationally standardized. The ball's half a pound of plaited cane, and the players are trying to lob it through that high hoop in the most complicated way possible. With experts in action, this game's an optical illusion. You miss most of the tricks. The Whicker ball game, or tack raw, has been played for centuries. The ball can be hit with any part of the anatomy, except the hands. And they always seem to find new parts. I hadn't realised, Colonel, that it's not two teams playing against each other, it's one team getting the biggest score it can.
Yes, only one team, yeah. They got the 7 people in one team.
And how many minutes do they play?
Only 40 minutes.
40?
Yes.
And can they keep the wicker ball in the air all that time?
You can keep it no point.
See, I do notice that one of the best players here is number 2.
Number 2 is the best one.
Now, he's not a young man, is he?
No, he's a 40 years over.
Well, so it's an old man's sport, is it?
Not old man. See, even the boys, so they can play also. It means they can play at any age.
Yes. And how do you score?
The score is different with the stroke. If the difficult one, you get the high score. See, and the very easy one, such you kick with the foot. You see, only 3 points.
If you kick it,
yeah,
that's an easy one.
Yeah,
that's
in
3
front,
points.
3 points only.
Yes.
If you use a heading, you get 10 points. If you use the shoulder, you get 12. And you use the elbow, you get 15. If you jump and you make a hoop here, and the ball come up there and then come to the hoop, and then you jump and kick here, and then come up in the hoop again, you get the 30 points. This is the highest one.
But don't think I'm just taking you to the more extreme or bonkers activities. In fact, there are many sports even more far out in this Bible of Thai games. They have, for example, eating contests, in which a player who can't swallow everything that's in front of him within 20 minutes loses his stake money and has to pay for the food. They go in for cricket fighting. But the disadvantage of this game is that when you're out in the paddy fields looking for likely contestants, you're liable to run into a cobra with the very same idea. There's a game called Klee, K-L-E-E, the celestial game with a ball of fire. It's played by 10 people, 2 goalies and 8 players, and they use hockey sticks made of bamboo roots. And the ball is a round piece of dried wood that's aflame. They keep it aloft and they play from 3 in the morning until breakfast time with this burning ball. It's one of the few sports where players can retire burnt. Then there's another sport, a major spectacle, which takes place on this very ground. It's kite fighting. For 6 weeks every year, when the southeasterly winds sweep up the Gulf of Thailand, male and female kites fight it out in these very skies. It seems that in sports, in games, the Thais take everything one stage further, one step beyond. You may breed pigeons, they keep doves and bet on them. You may have placid goldfish, they have fish that fight. You may stand up and box like a white man, they kick you right in the pit of the stomach. You may watch horse racing, but just get a load of the races the Thais watch. At Surin, on the northeastern plateau near the Cambodian border, there are more elephants at the annual roundup than you're ever likely to see again in one spot. A couple of hundred heavyweights. I don't know about them, but it's a scene I'll never forget.
When they start stampeding. So be ready to run in a hurry.
A Wild East rodeo, an elephant roundup. There's even an elephantine relay race which involves collecting bottles, but delicately. Well, you know how irritating it can be trying to pick up fiddling little things. Elephants, the Thai national symbol, have been protected here for 20 years. Believed to live to a very great age, they actually have a human lifespan and, as with man, work best between the ages of 30 and 60. So, how strong is a working elephant, would you believe? How many men could hold one in a tug of war? 10, say? Or 20? 30, perhaps? 50, even. In fact, 70 strapping Siamese soldiers put up a struggle before being swept off their feet by one young go-ahead female.